now Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
I stepped out of my apartment, my little one-room hovel. The only thing I do in there is read my Dostoevsky novel, The Karamazov Brothers, and I took the novel with me, and it was getting wet in the rain, so I jumped in the car. I threw the Karamazov Brothers novel next to me in the passenger seat, which was cluttered. My passenger seat was cluttered with peanuts and pistachios. I'm vegan, so I need protein from nuts, empty cans of legumes, and chicken wings from a Korean place. It's the only non-vegan thing I will have is chicken wings from a Korean place. I love the spice they do. I'm not sure if it's North Korean or South Korean. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not playing politics when I have chicken wings as a vegan.
Korea's Korea.
The rain was coming down so hard as I put her in drive. She purred awake, and the rain felt heavy. The rain felt as heavy as a story by Raymond Carver. You ever read a short story by Raymond Carver? Look it up, idiots. Google Raymond Carver. His short stories are so fucking bleak that you want to put a gun under your jaw and pull the trigger while watching WWE, and the rain was coming down. The rain, it was so heavy. The rain was heavier than a Carver short story. The rain was heavier than an elephant who was in Overeaters Anonymous. The rain was heavier than a building, the Chrysler Building, or I think the tallest building now is somewhere in Riyadh or one of those Middle Eastern cities where oil, which is destroying us all, builds big buildings. And I was on La Cienega, and the rain pounded down on my windshield, and I loved it. I love the chaos the rain brings. And by chaos, I'm talking about chaos theory. Stephen Hawking, God rest his soul, used to write a lot about chaos theory, but what else did he have to do? Huh? You're not going to be playing basketball with that kind of physical form, are you? You're going to be writing about chaos theory and string theory and all kinds of theories. And Hawking said about chaos theory that there is a beautiful reason. There's a beautiful underlying linear something that underlies the chaos. And I know a lot of this isn't making sense, but when you were driving in the rain and the rain coming down so viciously that you can't see out the window, I'm talking about vicious rain, more vicious than a little terrier that is protecting his great owner, a terrier whose name is Charlotte, and she's protecting me because she knows I love her so much, and I kiss her belly all the time, and I give her treats. That's how vicious. And Charlotte's protecting me. That's how vicious the rain was coming down. The rain was coming down more vicious than a right-wing moron attacking someone for getting vaccinated, like a right-wing moron who chooses to die on the hill of anti-vaccination instead of trying to get unionized or health care. They die on the hill of anti-vaccination. And just then, as I was driving through the streets, I saw a beautiful woman with a prosthetic leg just clumping down La Cienega. I slowed my Instacart, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash vehicle down, and I said, "Hey, Is that a prosthetic leg? She stopped in the rain. I couldn't tell if she was crying or it was just a massive amount of rain pouring down her face. And that's the one thing about vicious rain, about unrelenting rain, is that you don't know when someone is crying. And we are now in a nation of people who are just crying. And yet if it's raining, you don't know if they're crying. And that's trouble, especially if you're a shrink who sees people outdoors. You don't know if your client's crying or if your client is just wet as fuck. One way you could do that, know if they're crying or not, is just have a big umbrella or get an office inside.
Easy solutions.
So I asked her again, is that a prosthetic leg? She took it off, which means it was a prosthetic leg. And she handed it to me and said, "You a leg man?" And I said, "I am now. Why don't you get in the car?" She had handed me the leg through the window, the passenger side window, just in case you're wondering how this worked physically. She hopped into my vehicle. I offered her a cigarette. She took it. She lit it. And she said to me in a very slow southern drawl, "Y'all going downtown?" And I said, "I am now." She said, "You work for Instacart?" I said, "I do. I work for Instacart. I work for Uber. I work for Lyft. I work for DoorDash. I'm a gig economy guy." She said, "I like a man who's got a lot of gigs." And I go, "You don't mean gigabytes, do you?" The rain started coming down in torrents. I'm talking about, have you ever seen A Raging River? Not the fly fishing movie with Brad Pitt, but Deliverance, where Burt Reynolds, he got killed. I don't know. And Ned Beatty got fucked by Hellbilly. Anyway, it was
pretty mouth.
It was raining like in Deliverance. Her leg was on my dashboard. We were heading downtown, and the rain kept coming down, and we just sped to downtown, downtown into love, downtown into prurient pleasure, downtown where all the good, vicious, overwhelmed people go.
This has been Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.